Tonight on Oswego Now, Russian forces claiming victory in the city of Mariupol after a tense week of fighting. What remains of the city now? Plus, stress, a crucial part of everyone's life, but easing that stress? What experts recommend? Also ahead, Earth Day. See how student activists are making a difference right here on the SUNY Oswego campus. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Oswego Now. I'm Melanie Higgins. We begin the night with breaking news out of Syracuse. The police chief, Kenton Buckner, has resigned. This after a viral video of Syracuse police officers detaining an 8-year-old boy earlier this week sparked outrage. Buckner has also withdrawn his name from consideration for police chief position in Olympia, Washington. Syracuse Mayor Ben Walsh is expected to announce a new police chief come this evening. And today is Earth Day. The holiday started in 1970 because of growing concerns over air pollution caused by leaded gas. Today, the holiday is one of the largest celebrations in the world, and it's celebrated by over 1 billion people in 190 countries. It's easy to participate. Plant a tree, do some gardening, or just enjoy some fresh air while on a walk and enjoy that nature. Now, celebrations were held across the SUNY Oswego campus today, and our Brianna Boateng went around and saw the festivities held on campus. She has a deeper look into what these celebrations looked like.
Right here between the Marano Campus Center and the Cooper Dining Hall, members of the community are all gathered here together to celebrate this year's Earth Day celebration, with planting seeds and snacks to enjoy all throughout the day. Exciting activities of the day include recycling, environmental art, games, composting, seed sharing, climate change education, and much more. Student leaders and hosts of the event, Sarah Smelko and Nicole Rolls, talk more about the campus event this year.
Basically, our focus is to kind of bring the whole campus community together to celebrate Earth Day, talk about some important things. We have, people talking about water conservation, people talking about climate change.
The event took a lot of planning, and this was my first time planning an event like this. Sarah has a little bit of experience, but so there's a lot of details that not a lot of people think about, like a rain date and organizing with all of the clubs and organizations, and we also have the whole performance and speaker section. So it definitely took a lot of planning and a lot of collaboration and a lot of patience.
Other festivities that are a part of the event today include performances by Del Star, Gospel Choir, and our very own WNYO. So whether if you recycle, compost, plant a flower, remember to celebrate Earth Day and to give back to the community. Reporting live from Marano Campus Center, Brianna Boateng, Oswego Now.
Now, in case you've missed this event, no worries. More environmental events are coming up in the ending of April, such as Arbor Day. And the city of Oswego is doing their part, working to make its energy sources more environmentally friendly. Our Sydney Havens tells us more about what the city's new project that not only helps preserve the environment is, but also saves taxpayers money.
You may have driven by this hydroelectric facility on West 1st Street, but did you know that it generates millions of dollars in revenue for the city? The equipment here is responsible for providing energy to the city of Oswego, but it is now under construction.
The facility right here behind me was built in 1920, but was taken over by the city of Oswego in 1990. However, its historic age means it's in need of some repairs.
City engineer Jeffrey Hindlitter, who is overseeing the project, says that the city will be dedicating around $4 million to these repairs, which will include fixing the generators. 3 of the 4 generators are now broken, and 2 of them have not worked since November.
The goal is to get that revenue stream stable again. As the units have had their issues, it's been hard. Last year we churned about half of what we did in previous years, as we only had 2 units that even able to function.
Hindlitter says that the hydroelectric facility and the dam that feeds it do more for the community than just produce energy. They raise the water levels.
And what we actually see is that the environment has adapted to it. What would have been a shallow river at one point now is deep, and you have fish habitats and you have recreational spaces that didn't.
The construction on the hydroelectric facility is already underway and is projected to finish by the end of June 2023. Sydney Havens, Oswego Now.
Sydney, thank you. This isn't the only step the city has taken to make Oswego more eco-friendly. The city also recently installed electric vehicle charging stations across town to help clean up events on Lake Ontario as well. Now, tomorrow is the last day of Passover. Oswego Now's Michael Ower has more with holiday traditions being observed locally and what these look like.
As the Passover holiday got underway this week, I spoke with Oswego Rabbi Yossi Madvig, who had this to say about the holiday.
So the first day, or the first 2 days outside of Israel, there's what's called a Seder. And the Seder means order, and it's a very structured meal, but the meal is actually only one part of it.
Rabbi Madvig also said that he tries to provide a family atmosphere for students.
You're not just there celebrating a holiday together and kind of, yeah, we'll have a meal. I mean, because like, for instance, Christmas dinner is a big thing, but I don't know if you'd say the main thing of Christmas is the dinner. I don't know if that's, I mean, I guess Christmas isn't really my forte, so perhaps I'm not one to say, but that's from my experience. And I wasn't always a rabbi, so that wasn't the main event of Christmas, but I'm sure that maybe there are families that do that. But Passover, 100% of the time, the main event is the Seder.
Rabbi Madvig welcomes all students into his home, and he works closely with the Jewish Life Oswego Club here at SUNY Oswego to coordinate different events and other types of gatherings throughout the year. I'm standing in front of Chabad of Oswego. Chabad of Oswego serves as a self-described home away from home for Jewish students. Rabbi Madvig hosts weekly Shabbat dinners as well as Seders each Passover. He will be hosting Passover dinners as well each night of Passover. These events are open to all students. For more information on Chabad of Oswego, please visit www.jewishoswego.org. I'm Michael Orr, Oswego Now.
Thank you, Michael. Chabad of Oswego serves the Oswego community and welcomes all students and members of the community as one. Now, mental health is often overlooked, but new research from SUNY Oswego highlights the importance of that mental health. Our Landon Mauricio spoke to experts to explain just how you can manage.
Senior psychology student Quinn Seeley conducts research on how mental health conditions such as anxiety, depression, and overthinking affects college students. Seeley works in Mahar Hall and conducts research in the Psychological Sciences Lab. In fall of 2021, Seeley received a grant from the Student Scholarly and Creative Activity, which allows her to study cognitive and physiological responses to short-term stress. She also looks at the relationships between overthinking, anxiety, and rumination. Seeley says that she conducted a special test to study the anxiety levels of students.
The Trier social stress test officially, that it's a reliable and valid measure that a lot of psychologists have used to study social stress. And we did a modification of that just because I already had a bit of a long procedure. I didn't want to keep people for over 2 hours.
Seeley's test subjects ran the first part of the Trier stress test, which had her participants give a surprise speech. The student researchers split her test subject into 3 separate groups based on IQ. Seeley says that she had surprise results.
It's in the second group right now. It's showing the highest anxiety score and the highest rumination score, which is interesting because that's not what we expected.
SUNY Oswego students will be sitting right here within the coming weeks. This can lead to them becoming flustered. Quinn Seeley says that this is totally normal and that there are ways to cope.
In order to perform well and to achieve the things you want to achieve, you have to put yourself first. So make sure you leave at least 10 minutes a day to just do something that you love.
SUNY Oswego's graduation commencement ceremony is taking place on May 14th in the Deborah F. Stanley Arena and Convocation Hall. Landon Mauricio, Oswego Now.
Landon, thank you. And for those who might need extra help, counseling services are available at Mary Walker Health Center for anyone feeling stressed and want to talk to a professional counselor. Syracuse University is enforcing students to wear masks again after dropping the mask mandate back in the middle of March. This comes after the number of active COVID cases nearly tripled in the last 10-day period. Masks will also be required in certain facilities for non-academic events, but will not apply to the Carrier Dome. The uptick in COVID cases reflects the spread of new Omicron variants, such as the BA.2.12, recently discovered in Onondaga County, and it's spreading throughout central New York. Oswego campus safety monitor Victoria Furlong says the university is actively assessing the situation as we get closer to graduation.
We have weekly meetings with our partners at the county health department and their recommendations about our ability to invite large groups to campus and to share our campus with the greater Oswego and beyond community as a whole. So, we're actively looking at that to understand, if something needs to change.
To the masking policy here on campus, students and faculty have the option to wear one as necessary. Now, a little relief at the pump is coming. Last week, the Oswego County Legislature unanimously approved a motion that would put a cap on fuel sales tax. According to this new plan, gas won't be taxed after reaching $4 a gallon. To put this into perspective, 15 gallons of gas at $4.50 would be nearly 30 cents cheaper. Those who frequently get behind the wheels around our area say the change in the price would be an enormous help.
The delivery driver made it harder to delivery drive because they wouldn't reimburse us for gas, so we had to buy gas. So I would spend so much money. I wouldn't be profiting because I'd spend all my money on gas.
The freeze will go into effect from June 1st until the end of the year. Also coming this summer to Oswego County is Mayor Barlow's social district. This after the Common Council passed it by a 6-1 margin last week. With this new rule, alcoholic beverages in specific cups from local bars and restaurants will be allowed to be taken from a business to business in a designated area. In a revisement of Barlow's original plan, it will exclude residential areas, including 2nd and Cayuga Streets, as well as the corner of 2nd and Schuyler Streets. The plan will come to fruition by June 1st and end October 1st. When we return, our meteorologist Bethany Strong will have your full weather forecast, plus the latest out of Ukraine as sources say Mariupol has been devastated. Stay with us.